So much, Sheheryar, for doing this, like for being on my podcast. I really don't understand, like, what's the big deal with this? Like, a lot of my friends agree and they find it a good idea, but then they tend to back out. And I feel like it's okay. Everyone has their own insecurities. I'm not gonna judge them, but I am like seriously concerned now. Like these are
Yeah.
some of the like these are some of the nicest, like most genuine and some of the smartest people I know, yet they're insecure about what they might or might not see on the internet. Like ye kya hai?
Mhm. Hmm. This is something that we all Pakistani get to face. I think what you are facing, यहाँ पर एक ना एक पॉइंट आता है जब हम में से कोई ना कोई इस पे चढ़ के जो है वो नीचे देख रहा होता है कि what the hell I am doing alone. मेरे मेरे साथ तो दो चार लोग और आने चाहिए थे पर वो नहीं आए. And thank you so much for having me. Although I'm थोड़ा सा late, नहीं बल्कि काफी ज्यादा late. You are ain't mad at me, right?
Yeah, of course I'm not mad at you. Like I completely understand everyone has, like life happens. Like everyone has shit to do.
Yeah. Yay, thank you. I feel safe now.
Like, and I really do have a problem with when my friends have these insecurities and me being, me. I'm like, let's look for a solution, and they're like, nay, nay, just let it be. Maybe if we ignore it, it'll go
Hmm.
away. And it's like, nay, that's really not gonna happen. Especially when it comes to like your sense of self value, your insecurities,
Hmm.
and I feel
Hmm.
like it's just getting harder, like especially in a digital age. Like, why are we so concerned about what we might or might not say on the internet? I'm not saying go around spreading hate, but like, how many of us were like very self-aware, super woke in our teens, and then we get mad at teenagers for doing dumb shit that we've done ourselves. We just like we didn't grow up in an age where we were posting all that dumb shit all the time, no?
Hmm. Amara, I'd say people don't want to recognize their self as their insecurities. I think they are in denial, ज़्यादातर. Yeah, most of them don't even want to get there. I think there's so much self-judgment. There is so much self-judgment that when the teenagers start doing the stuff जो हम लोग भी करते रहे हैं, तो I'm sorry, I'm bringing my psychological therapist mode in, but somewhere those people जो criticize उन teenagers को करते हैं, वो कहीं ना कहीं अपने आप को उनमें देखना शुरू कर देते हैं. They start mirroring, and hence they get mad. Okay, what the hell these people are doing? Or maybe their insecurities get triggered. What do you think about it?
I
In the digital age, where everyone, honestly, yaar, Amara, please don't mind, but I'm not against the influencer culture, but इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि मैं उसके हक में भी हूँ. I am somebody who appreciates people voicing out their opinions and telling people about how the things are or how does the world function. But at the same time, I feel that being an influencer in this era has a great power. And I think when you have the power, you should propagate something. कुछ निकालो यार. कुछ कुछ initiate करो, rather than posting the pictures of your naked legs or showing off your muscles or showing off your armpits. Come on, bring out something. Uh, I'm so sorry. This is not a hate speech. This is not a hate speech. I'm repeating it again. This is not a hate speech. This is something, my opinion, everyone can disagree. But I do not get to understand this influencer culture. And with digital age, this influencer culture is uh, causing a lot of problems for the audience, for the people, like people who already have a lot of insecurity, the people who already have a lot of shit going on in their heads. I think their shit is multiplying at a faster pace. Do you agree with me?
I do agree with you. Like, I feel like to a certain extent, in when it comes to any other medium, we are gonna have entertainers who are gonna be offered endorsements now. But the like
Mm.
go as far and call it like influencing. Like, what you're talking about. Like, at the end of the day, even if with your huge platform, you're keeping it so superficial. What does that say about you?
Yeah,
And what does that say about
exactly.
literally हम
Ama-
acne and hair fall and like इस चीज से निकल रहे ही नहीं है. And I'm not saying
हम
these aren't issues. Like, these are issues that a lot of people are insecure about. But the thing is, like, you posting your empowering makeup-free selfie, which has a really nice filter, and I still can't see your pores because I'm sure because you're human, aren't you?
Yeah, I would like to extend it a little bit. I see guys posting their pictures online, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and they're showing off their bodies. I don't have any problem. उन्होंने इतनी मेहनत की है. It's good to show off yourself, but not normalizing the normal bellies. निकले हुई पेट को आप उसका मजाक उड़ा रहे हो. You are not appreciating the curves, the natural curves a person has. So I think that आप shit कर रहे हो, आप हग रहे हो. I'm sorry to say this. Literally, Amara, it's not that I'm insecure. I am very proud of my body. I do not have a proper abs or मेरे सारी body लटकी है, but I'm very comfortable with it. Alhamdulillah. But when I see people showing off their abs, it's fine. But when they tell other people, "Hi Allah, तुम अपना पेट लेके क्या घूम रहे हो बेशरम आदमी, क्या तुम सुस्त हो, चलो करो, तुम exercise करो." Why are you shaming the other person for having a normal belly?
Exactly. It makes zero sense.
This,
You're pushing for acceptance, yet you cannot even accept someone who's slightly different.
exactly. And these all influencers I'm talking about, not all of them, but some of them, they post pictures that we should accept everyone for who they are, and हमें किसी को judge नहीं करना चाहिए. The second moment their friend comes with the loose, what they call man boobs, and उन लोगों की फट जाती है. क्या तुम्हें शर्म नहीं आती औरत बन के कि कम खाया करो. And I'm like, what? The previous moment you were saying we should accept, and you're shaming a guy for having man boobs or having a normal belly. Come on, guy, you need a treatment.
Exactly. I mean, we humans weren't born with abs, were we?
And Amara, just think, you talked about the self-awareness previously. You talked about uh, the self-love, uh, and the digital era. So आप फिर देख लो कि हमारा सेल्फ लव कहाँ है. I believe कि self love अपने से start होता है. I believe it all starts from you. But being a trainee psychotherapist, I have seen that your support system plays a key role. You can't bloom, a plant doesn't grow without water. Water has to be there ताकि आपका photosynthesis हो, आपको आपके पौधे को खाना मिले, अच्छा खासा sunlight हो. External support is important, and that is lacking. That is one of the reasons that self-love is seen as something, a very questionable thing, a very impossible thing. Or I'm very sad to say that his self-love is something that we never talk about. Because हम उसको खुद गर्जी है, इसको बड़ा अपना ख्याल आ गया, इसको तो माँ भूल गई, बाप भूल गया, अपनी बाउंड्रीज बना ली इसने, कैसा चूतिया आदमी है. Do you know what I'm talking about? Is
Yeah.
it making sense, or I'm speaking too much?
Yeah, it makes complete sense. Like, we live in a communal culture where your identity has to come from like another person, like from the
Yeah.
community, your family, and any sense of self is discouraged, whether in terms of your personal identity or your self-esteem, or
And even sexual identity. You can't have your own
specifically
sexual
that.
identity.
Exactly, specifically that. Like, recently, I was reading this post online about this religious scholar. I don't know if I should name him or not. Don't want to get sued, but he shared
Mhm.
this long ass post about how his son was handed these like flyers in university about how it's okay to be a Muslim and not have and not fit into traditional like gender, वो, उसके कहते हैं, traditional binary gender, uh, And
Hmm.
it's like it's okay to be trans and it's okay to be Muslim. Like being trans doesn't mean, you can't be a Muslim or whatever. Your religious identity
Hmm.
has nothing to do with your personal identity. Religious identity is
Hmm. Agree.
here for spiritual connection, right?
Hmm.
That's the
Agree.
main purpose of it, because we as humans have spiritual needs, whereas your personal identity is basically how you identify as a person, in terms of ethnicity or
What individual you are, है ना?
exactly.
Personal identity is what sort of individual you are.
Yeah,
But हमारा sadly we don't understand individuality. I think individuality तो है ही नहीं. Like we try to. I have seen all the parents around, including mine too. They try to paint every child with the same fucking brush. आप सबको एक जैसे कैसे बना सकते हो? We do not cherish individuality. We identify each other through our social circle. Like a person who's gonna be different, he's gonna be shamed or he's gonna be glorified. Like जो थोड़ा different है, मैं आपको example देता हूँ, जैसे a boy who's a little bit feminine, he is gonna be bullied at, in all the worst possible ways. There is no acceptance of feminine guys or masculine women, and this is so sad. And when I say, one, I'm going to quote an example of one of my aunties. I can't name her because I don't want to get into trouble because all of my family is all over the internet. So she was of the view, she said कि लड़कियों को ना गुस्सा नहीं आना चाहिए, लड़कियों को बड़ा साबिर शाकिर होना चाहिए, तो लड़कियों को गुस्सा तो वैसे ही कम होना चाहिए क्योंकि उन्होंने अगले घर जाना होता है, उन्हें क्या पता उन्हें कैसा मिल जाए. And I was like, यार औरत को तुम मार ही दो, औरत को तुम ना जला दो. You are a woman and you're talking about a girl कि उसे एंगर इश्यूज ना हो. क्या वो एलियन है या वो रोबोट है कि उसको आपने जो है कॉइन डालना है जी, गुस्सा ना करे और उसने कहना oh my god I am not gonna be angry. No, we can't accept the unusual behavior, maybe because we have not been told to. We have, हमें कभी exposure ही नहीं था. Specifically when I talk about boomers, so I think I am very sorry to say that they had shit not shit but shit test exposure. उनका जो थोड़ा बहुत एक्सपोजर था, आई फील कि वो एक ही वेल में था, एक ही कुएं में था. वो एक ही कुएं में बहुत एक्सपोजर होगा, ऑफ कोर्स 60-70 साल लगाते हैं वो एक्सपोज अपने आप को करते हैं डिफरेंट इन डिफरेंट सॉर्ट ऑफ इंटरेक्शन, बट एक ही कुएं में होता है. दे कांट एक्सेप्ट कि वो कुआं डिफरेंट है और उस कुएं में डिफरेंट लोग हैं. दे गाना से कि हाय इन्होंने अल्लाह अल्लाह को जवाब नहीं देना, अस्तगफुरुल्लाह ये क्या कर रहे हैं, हाय 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 हमने तो नहीं कभी ये काम किए, हालांकि वो काम बहुत आम होगा. What do you think about it, Mara? Would you like to throw some light on boomers? No offense, please.
I think maybe, just maybe, the issue is because their differences weren't, accepted or celebrated, and they were like forced to conform. They have that
Hmm.
repressed anger, and they have these repressed issues that they haven't dealt with, and they take it out on other younger people. It's like, I didn't get to be myself. I didn't get to, discover what self-esteem is, or use
Yeah.
my self-esteem. So I'm not gonna let you do that either. So it's like you're not putting the hurt where it belongs. You're redirecting it towards the wrong person, and
Hmm.
yeah.
Imagine, Amara, we all human beings are forced to walk on a certain path. This is so inhuman. Why don't we let other person explore the path he wants to choose? Why don't we let others to just roam freely? I think boundaries bata de कि this is the boundary beta, or generally not beta, but any human being, this is the boundary, this is gonna be the consequence. You are responsible for your own self, and you're allowed to be your own self. I think this single statement can increase the process of, or maybe the culture of self love. I believe, I'm saying it again, कि self love मैं मानता हूँ कि अपने आप से start होता है. बट आप अपने आप को जितनी मर्जी अफर्मेशंस देते रहो, if you do not have a supportive environment, you're not gonna grow.
Self-love, especially in a digital age, isn't just an issue here, like in Pakistan and in Pakistani society. This is kind of like a global issue. This is something like
Agreed.
yeah, this is something young people and like all kinds of people deal with across the world. Like, हाँ
Hmm.
यहाँ पर ये है कि
Agree.
basically we went from like comparing each other to like, oh, that girl looks like a
Yeah.
Sheheryar or she looks like a Trina Calf, and going on to like having a very wide assortment of influencers and celebs you can now compare yourself to online and feel worse about it. And
Yeah.
yeah, this,
हमारा, I'm sorry, मेरे ज़हन में बहुत जोर की एग्जांपल है, मुझे भूल जाएगी.
yeah, go ahead.
If you allow me to, if
Yeah,
you
go
allow
ahead.
me. Yo, so there was a friend of mine. We haven't spoken for a year maybe. So, anyways, so there was a friend of mine, and he was so influenced by the TikTokers. और वो क्या करता था, and he would use different sorts of scrubs ताकि अपने face को साफ करे, and he was trying his level best to imitate the TikTokers, and he would put the camera, और वो इतना well off नहीं था, he was not financially that good, but he was trying his level best, and he would get frustrated ultimately क्योंकि उसकी वीडियो वैसी नहीं आती थी जैसे वो टिकटॉकर्स की आती थी. So he would try every harmful way possible. वो अपने मुंह को कुछ करेगा, वो अपनी आंखों को कुछ करेगा, सब कुछ कर रहा है, and he dancing, but he doesn't like it because he was comparing himself, and ultimately he got frustrated and he started throwing things and he got agitated. And I asked him, what's up in your life? And he said कि मैं उस टिकटॉकर की तरह क्यों नहीं प्यारा दिख रहा, मेरे खड्डे नजर आ रहे हैं, मेरे पोर्स क्यों इतने खुले हुए हैं नजर आ रहे हैं, मेरे नाक पे ये छोटा सा निशान है ये नजर आ रहा है. So I was like, this is who you are, man, दिस इज योर फेस. बट ही वाज लाइक कि वो उस टिकटॉकर जैसा बनना है. तो मैंने उसे समझाया कि मेरे भाई, दे हैव फिल्टर्स की दुकान. नंबर वन, उन चूतियों के पास लाइट बहुत अच्छी है, ठीक है, तुम्हारे पास लाइट नहीं है, यू आर डूइंग इट इन अ बल्ब. बल्ब में और रिंग लाइट में बड़ा फर्क होता है. It covers all you, and there is a technique of light, I don't know, I probably might be wrong, but there is a technique जिससे आपका फेस थोड़ा प्यारा लग सकता है. एंड यस, विद द यूज ऑफ फिल्टर्स आप तो पता नहीं क्या आसमान के कोई मखलूक लग सकते हैं. तो आई नोटिस्ड कि इस तरह के कितने लोग और होंगे, और हालांकि वो एमफिल कर रहा था, एंड और वो बड़ा अच्छा जी होश आदमी था. एंड मैंने फिर सोचा कितने और हजारों लोग होंगे जो इसकी वजह से फ्रस्ट्रेशन में होंगे कि मैं उस तरह का क्यों नहीं लग रहा, व्हाई आई एम नॉट लुकिंग परफेक्ट ऑन स्क्रीन. आई थिंक टुडे व्हाट आई हैव, छोटी सी प्रैक्टिस तो मैं अभी स्टार्ट की है, उसके अलावा आई फील कि मेरे जो लोग हैं मेरे इर्द गिर्द, दे हैव स्ट्रॉन्ग नीड टू लुक perfect. They identify themselves through the camera. They don't know that the camera is something, a second thing. Like, yeah, even if you look bad on camera, that you think you are bad, probably किसी और नजर से आप प्यारे होंगे. First step is to accept yourself. That is the, I think, the roadway to self-love. And this is where people are lacking. People are trying to be perfect. People are trying to be someone that they never can be because there is no self-acceptance.
Precisely, I will completely agree, and I feel like peer pressure is always going to be there. You just need to learn how to deal with it. We've gone from like comparing ourselves to like the girl next door or that guy in class to everyone on the internet. So like the
Yeah.
digital space really just amplified that. But the thing is, at the end of the day, it's you who are gonna have to learn to deal with this kind of peer pressure, and you're the one who's gonna have to learn how to like work on your self-esteem and surround yourself
Hmm.
with positive people and people who accept you in real life. Because when it comes to like this online persona we create for ourselves, a lot of people have worked so hard on personal branding online. They seem like, I don't know, someone superhuman online, whereas they're spending so much
Yeah.
effort, they're spending so much time into like
And
maintaining and
money.
keeping, yeah, so much money as well into maintaining and keeping up this persona online. They're not really living much in real life. Like in real life,
Yes.
what are you even doing?
Yeah.
Honestly,
They are
everything is
not in the moment. They
exactly
are somewhere in
everything.
this, virtually they are somewhere, but they in the present, in the moment, they are not there. This is very true.
Exactly. And whenever like one thing like rolls around, everyone just wants to jump a bandwagon and do the same thing. For example, when beauty
Yeah.
influencers came along, everyone wanted to be a beauty influencer. When travel vloggers came along, everyone wanted to be a travel vlogger. And someone's gotta ask, bro, like, if I mean, vacations are nice, but if you're doing it every single day of the year, is that very nice? Is it, or is it just exhausting? I mean, jet lag is a bitch, bro. We all know so.
I wonder हमारा वो सच में करते भी होंगे कि नहीं, or they are posting pictures from their past because उनके पे कुछ और ही पता नहीं इतना हौसला कहाँ से लाते हैं. I agree with you. It's so overwhelming,
Yeah,
and
but
I think that when there's a digital culture, digital norms and digital content, उसके साथ हमें इस चीज को आम करने की बहुत जरूरत है कि how to deal with this digital crap. I feel this. Okay, people need, especially the youngsters, need to understand or need to be educated about the facts and figures of the digital media. Every other person is trying his level best to be white on screen. Some I have met some girls and boys when they send me pictures and I say, "Wow, yaar, kitna pyara hai, ye pyari hai." When I meet in person, oh my God! मैं तो एक दफा एक there was I was doing an event since COVID की वजह से सब कुछ जो है वो online हो चुका है तो there was a girl I was talking to and we were in the same group and we had been coordinating for weeks on the mobile और जब मैंने उनको मिला तो मैंने उसको पहचाना ही नहीं मैंने कहा आप जोहरा ही हैं and she was like yes I'm Zohra and I'm like यार तुम्हारी picture different है कहती है हो वो तो filter I I just it shook me and I was like यार this hit me with the reality yaar, this is another world where we're living that is not real or maybe they don't have acceptance for this themselves for their color for their body with the B612 जब मुझे एक एप्लीकेशन आई थी मुझे याद है everyone was like oh my god मैं पतला आ रहा हूँ स्मार्ट मोड होता है तो I think self acceptance नहीं आ रही जाती जा रही है and this is what is keeping us away from loving ourselves.
exactly, like
Amara, don't you think this is a challenge? This is not more than issue. It looks like a challenge to me.
exactly, like what is it with this Gora complex? Like I never got there.
Huh.
Like like I grew up I grew up in an environment where being brown wasn't an issue. I was exotic and I was pretty and I was cool or whatever. Like okay, the last bit was kind of an exaggeration. I was never I would never define myself as a cool kid. Like I was more of like that edgy loner. But when like I moved here, everyone was like, you're dark skinned, and I'm like, yes, I am brown.
मैं
I'm
यही कहने
South
लगा था. Your
Asian.
life was going good. Your life was going good, and then you moved to Pakistan.
I know, like it's like I'm brown. I'm South Asian. Like this is how I'm supposed to look now. And then I realized, uh, after dealing with a lot of bullshit, okay, the Pakistani standard of beauty is basically blonde hair, blue eyes, like pristine white skin. And I'm like, wow, that sounds very similar to something else I've heard in the past before. It sounds very much like the perfect Aryan form. So you know where I'm going with this, you know?
Yeah, I know.
Oh my god. Anyway, it made zero sense. Like, why would you glorify that? Like, you need to accept that, within every ethnicity, something is gonna, like, within every ethnicity, something would be more appealing and something won't be. Okay, maybe you have really long straight hair and you want curly hair, but someone else would like kill for your pin straight hair, and they like do a bunch of unhealthy shit to their hair in order to remove their curls. I feel like just be happy with the beauty that you have. And when it comes to beauty standards, they're such bullshit because if you look at if you look at beauty standards throughout history, sometimes it was thin noses, sometimes it was like button noses, sometimes it was bigger
Hmm.
foreheads, sometimes it was
Yep.
smaller foreheads, long hair, short hair, tika, apple body type, slender body type, or heroin chic or whatever. and then the hourglass. And when it comes to like people saying, huh, but the ideal beauty scientifically and biologically or whatever is like the hourglass, and you're like, well, if that's the case, why did like the Renaissance era really promote the apple body shape? Why was that the beauty standard then? Or why why was heroin chic ever a beauty standard? Why was looking like you're dying from a drug overdose ever a beauty standard? Like beauty standards are shit bullshit and they're so arbitrary. Why haven't we figured that out yet?
आई थिंक इसका जो जवाब है ना, मुझे ऐसे फील होता है कि वी आर ट्राइंग टू सेट हर ब्यूटी स्टैंडर्ड्स. मतलब हम जब बचपन से बड़े हो रहे होते हैं तो हमें बता दिया जाता है कि चिट्टा रंग बेटा सबसे प्यारा होता है. Everywhere we're gonna see, we're gonna look at the movies, we're gonna look at the songs. हर जगह इतना चिट्टा रंग आपको जो है, चिट्टा रंग, गोरी पतली कमर और इस तरह का ग्लोरीफाई किया जा रहा है, जिसकी वजह से अनकॉन्शियसली हमारे में बैठ गया है. ऑल्दो कुछ लोगों को बड़े होके पता चलता है कि नहीं यार, मुझे ना डार्क स्किन ज्यादा अच्छी लगती है, क्योंकि यार ब्यूटी इज सब्जेक्टिव. Beauty
Exactly.
is fucking subjective. You can find a very horrible thing beautiful. The others might not like it, but you may like it. मसले भी तो हजार है ना. वो बेचारा उसके लिए, या बेचारी या बेचारा किसी ऐसी अनकैनी चीज के लिए जो है वो अपनी ख्वाहिश का इजहार करता है, उसको एस्थेटिकली प्यारी लगती है, उसको भी शेम करते हैं. एक तो शेमिंग कल्चर मुझे समझ नहीं आती है हमारा. वेयर इज दिस कमिंग फ्रॉम?
It
हमारी
stems
कॉमेडी देख
insecurity,
लो.
obviously. It stems from
एग्जैक्टली.
insecurity, obviously.
Insecurity and mirroring. We begin to see ourselves in other people. Or maybe, बता, मैंने एक phenomena पढ़ा था कि when a person sees himself unconsciously in other people, he treats the other person the way he wants to treat himself. He wants to be treated. इसकी एग्जांपल ऐसे, अगर एक बंदा जो है, he has been through abuse, he has been through a lot of emotional abuse, and उसके wound मैच होते हैं, अपने आप को किसी और बंदे में देखता है, तो he is gonna maybe shame him and bully him because he feels that I deserve bullying, I deserve shame, and because of mirroring, he is projecting his shame onto other people. Is this making sense or too complex?
Exactly. I feel like at the end of the day, we really just need to break the cycle. Start loving yourself and surround yourself with positive people in real life. People who love you and accept you for the way you are, people who appreciate you, people who encourage you to grow and be a better
Yes.
person and not focus on the dumb, superficial shit.
यप. और हमारा मसला ही बैंचोद ये है, हमारी 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 सोसाइटी में मसला ये है कि हम पॉजिटिव पीपल भी उन लोगों को कहते हैं जो रेडिकल हैं, who are superbly religious or not at all religious. हम कहते हैं वो पॉजिटिव है. लाइक अगर मेरा फ्रेंड से तो पूछेगी तो कि जी पॉजिटिव लोगों में रहोगे, अगले दिन कि हाँ मैं पॉजिटिव लोगों में रहा. अच्छा, उन्होंने क्या कहा? उन्होंने कहा नमाज पढ़ो, उन्होंने कहा इस्तगफार पढ़ो, और उन्होंने कहा कि वो फलाने की बेटी को देखो, वो तो इतनी आगे निकल गई, उसको गोल रोटी भी बनानी आ गई, तुझे अभी तक नहीं आई, चलो सीखो. This is toxic positivity. I'm so sorry. I'm not saying कि नमाज नहीं पढ़नी चाहिए, नमाज इस्तगफार नहीं पढ़ना चाहिए, या गोल रोटी नहीं बनानी चाहिए, but ask the person what does he want.
No.
Ask the person where he is lacking. अगर उसको ये मसला आ रहा है कि जैसे मैं अपना बताता हूँ, when I was a teenager, अब मैं 10, 11, 12 स्टैंडर्ड में था, तो I had problems because I was healthy and I had man boobs. मेरे man boobs बहुत बड़े थे यार. तो I was so ashamed of them. And अगर for example इस प्रॉब्लम के पास मैं अपने पॉजिटिव लोगों के पास जाता हूँ, तो they are gonna say me इस्तगफार पढ़ो, तो उससे क्या मेरे चेस्ट का साइज कम हो जाएगा? नो. अगर मैं ऐसे पॉजिटिव बंदे के पास जाऊंगा, he is gonna tell me this is beautiful, man boobs are beautiful, it's fine, it's absolutely fine, you have saggy body. खराब है, सैगी तुम्हें लगती है, तुम्हें बुरी लगती है, लेकिन है तो तुम्हारी ही ना. अपनी चीज को फेंक तो नहीं देते ना, पहले एक्सेप्ट करते हैं, फिर उसको रखना है या नहीं रखना वो डिसाइड करते हैं. सो आई थिंक कमिंग बैक टू दिस कि पॉजिटिव लोग आइडेंटिफाई करना भी बड़ा मुश्किल है. यहाँ पर तुझे कोई भी पॉजिटिव होगा तो दैट इज सो टॉक्सिक पॉजिटिविटी. ही इज गोइंग टू सजेस्ट यू, ही इज गोइंग टू गिव यू वाइल्ड सजेशंस. कि ऐसे कर लो, ऐसे करो, ऐसे क्यों कर रहे हो, डोमिनेट करेंगे यार, बहन जो तुम मेरे बाप हो। ये पॉजिटिविटी है हमारे मुआशरे में कि चलो चलो मैं तुम्हें कह रहा हूँ ये करो, चलो कल से तुमने ऐसे करना। अगला बंदा कहेगा यार ये पॉजिटिव है या am I in the wrong world or what's going on in me? He's doing right, but something is not sitting with me. What the hell is happening? Do
Exactly.
you
And
agree with the toxic positivity?
yeah, I guess it's the thing with, you know, toxic positivity. It's is that it's not positive when someone uses something that's even healthy or good as as a tool to dominate you, as something to assert, you know, how they're better than you somehow. Like how healthy eating is
Yep,
really good, exercising is good, but if you're using that in order to fat shame someone else, you're a bad person. It's plain and
yep.
simple.
And I think,
Yeah.
Amara, I think any person or anything that makes you feel that you are not good enough, that person or that thing is not worth investing. और जो बंदा आपको ये फील कराए कि आप अच्छे नहीं हैं, तो उस बंदे से तो आप दूर ही हो जाए, चाहे वो जितना मर्जी मीठा हो, जितना मर्जी जो है वो जुबान का प्यारा हो, जितना मर्जी एक्सेप्टिंग हो। आई थिंक दिस इज हॉरेंडस इफ यू आर सेइंग to other person you're not good enough just because you have saggy body, just because you have crooked teeth, or maybe you are feminine, or maybe तुम जो हो शादी नहीं कर रहे 30s में, क्या करोगे, हाय अल्लाह, या तुम जो हो ये कर रहे हो, तो just stay away from that person. हाँ, सेल्फ रिफ्लेक्ट करो कि जो अगला बंदा फीडबैक दे रहा है, डज इट सिट विद मी और नॉट। इफ द अदर पर्सन, अगर हमारा मुझे सजेशन देती है, मैं हमारा सजेशन देता हूँ, तो हमारा इज गोइंग टू चेक दैट डू आई हैव टू accept this suggestion or I'm going to discard it. You have all the liberty to discard it. अगर अगला बंदा नाराज हो रहा है आपसे, तो ये उसका मसला है। अगर अगला बंदा आपसे दोस्ती तोड़ा इस वजह से क्योंकि आपने उसकी सजेशन नहीं मानी, तो वो उसका मसला है। आपके पास तो सारे, आपके पास कानूनी राइट है, आपके पास सोशल राइट है, रिलीजियस राइट है टू not to accept other person's invitation. Then it's not your problem, it's the other person's problem. Let him deal his shit. उसके लिए क्या, what came up for him, what surfaced up for him, that's his problem, not yours. है ना?
At the end of the day, it's guilt that holds dysfunctional relationships together. So if someone's
Yeah,
a friend or someone you're in a relationship or even family, if they're using guilt in order to, you know, coerce you into doing something they want you to do, you know it's toxic. And just run,
yeah.
run, run.
Run, run. Dug, 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 dug. हमारा यहाँ पर मुझे गिल्ट से याद आया कि गिल्ट ट्रिप पे भेजना तो हमारे माँ बाप की सबसे, देसी पेरेंट्स की सबसे खूबसूरत चीज है। फौरन गिल्ट ट्रिप पे भेज देते हैं आपको, ऐसा गिल्ट इंड्यूस करते हैं आपके अंदर कि a child or anybody starts feeling कि मेरी वजह से सारे गम हो रहे हैं दुनिया में। नहीं,
Yeah, I feel like because they were raised with that, so it comes down to again that you know, placing your anger or directing your anger in the wrong place with, you know, how I wasn't accepted, my differences weren't acknowledged, and I was coerced to conform, so everyone else has to as well. And it's the same with you know, guilt, like guilt tripping your children. Like our parents have
yeah,
endured it, my parents still endure it. Like I like, oh, it is so infuriating when I see my grown ass parents just like give into the guilt because of my grandparents. And
that's absurd.
sometimes I even like ask them, have you learned nothing from us? Like,
Yeah,
has my rebellious phase taught you nothing? It's that, you know, you need to look out for yourself. You need to look
agree.
out for yourself before you even look out for me.
At the end, Amara, I would like to say something. I think what I can call self love is making healthy boundaries, अंडरस्टैंडिंग कि अगर कोई इन्फ्लुएंसर कुछ कर रहा है या डिजिटली आप कुछ देखते हैं, तो टू नो दैट आई एम गुड इन माय ओन वे। जस्ट सराउंड योरसेल्फ विद एक्चुअली गुड पीपल who make you feel comfortable in your own self, जो आप कुछ बात बताएं तो आपको जज या शेम किए बगैर आप कहें यार कोई बात नहीं, तुम इंसान हो, तुम मेरे दोस्त हो, वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू जज ईच अदर। सो दैट वे सेल्फ लव, द सीड बोया जाता है, बीज वहां पर बोया जाता है। एंड ऑल द बेस्ट everyone out there who's struggling, and much more power to you, Amara, for bringing this up. I think this was much needed, and more love to all the people who are dealing and are in this shit.
Of said like a true therapist. Thank you so much for doing this. I understand how hard it is to take time out, but I really, really
No.
appreciate you bringing your years of experience and your expert professional knowledge to my platform, and
Mm.
helping us all love ourselves a bit more in this digital age. In fact, I encourage everyone to go check out your Boring Bethak, which is basically your
Ooh.
podcast where you talk about ev- everything and anything.